We get it. You're sad the great movie ride closed and ruined the park. But there are a lot of our readers who still think Disney's Hollywood Studios is the best park in Disney World. And we're tossing it over to them today on DFV Guide. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. Now, Disney's Hollywood Studios hasn't always been the park we know and love today. When the park opened back in 1989, it was of course MGM Studios and was themed around learning all the behind-the-scenes movie magic that goes into making your favorite films. But after the park was renamed to Disney's Hollywood Studios in 2008, which is a whole scandal of its own, the focus of the park shifted. Instead of learning about the movies, you could now be in the movies. During this transformation, Hollywood Studios lost a handful of classic attractions and experiences. But of course, new experiences were born. So let's find out how these expansions and additions, as well as the lingering classics that stood the test of time, come together to create your number one park. The first thing you told us you loved about Hollywood Studios and what makes it the best park for you are new and unique lands to explore. Now, there was a period of time where Hollywood Studios was just kind of sad. The streets of America had been taken down along with the attractions and restaurants in it. The great movie ride was no more, and the park itself felt like it was missing major components that once made it unique and fun. And then those two new lands came along to help fill the MGM-shaped holes in our hearts, Toy Story Land and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Toy Story Land opened on June 30th, 2018, bringing with it 3 new rides alongside the already existing Toy Story Mania, a quick service restaurant with another barbecue restaurant on its way, and a colorful, larger-than-life atmosphere that makes guests feel like they are one of the toys. Or rather, like a Green Army Man, since all those toys seem to tower over you like Woody and Buzz are 4 times your size. They're like huge. Now, many of you rushed to Facebook to tell us about your love for all things Toy Story Land, including Mark J., who said, now that they've added Toy Story Land, Hollywood Studios is a dream come true for me. And then there's Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which opened in 2019, dropping new and longtime Star Wars fans into a new intergalactic realm called Batuu, which features 2 state-of-the-art rides, adventurous places to eat, and immersive shops and architecture around every corner. Plus, this realm now connects to Disney's Galactic Star Cruiser, a 2-night excursion separately priced for the Hollywood Studios park ticket that allows you to experience an epic choose-your-own adventure where you get to pick who you interact with and how your personal Star Wars story will play out. If you want to know more about that, definitely click on this link because we have a lot to say. But even if you don't stay at Galactic Star Cruiser, you'll still be able to live out an epic Star Wars adventure in Galaxy's Edge, whether that be by piloting the Millennium Falcon, joining the Resistance, developing a love-hate relationship with Blue Milk, or all of the above, like we have. Caitlin R. told us, if you're a fan of Star Wars, Hollywood Studios will make you feel like you stepped into the films. And Ellen K. added, I got to watch my 25-year-old daughter, who's a huge Star Wars fan, almost cry with happiness when making a lightsaber at Savi's workshop. Once your kids are grown, nothing else seems to elicit those kinds of emotional responses. So was the loss of Streets of America and the awkward construction stages of Hollywood Studios worth the wait? Well, a lot of you said yes. Lisa F. said the expansions of the rides and themed areas have made this park so much fun and immersive. Definitely the best park of them all. So another reason that a lot of you said this was Disney World's best park is that it has the best thrill rides ever. If you're raring to get your adrenaline pumping, Disney's Hollywood Studios has an assortment of thrill rides that's going to make you want to throw your hands in the air like you just don't care, right? Jessica V told us that Disney's Hollywood Studios has the best rides for ride enthusiasts, and Taryn Yu backed that statement by adding that Hollywood Studios' larger-than-life rides feel like you're stepping into some pretty epic stories. But what kind of stories are we talking about here? You can get backstage passes at Aerosmith's Rock and Roller Coaster, unravel the dark past lingering within Twilight Zone's Tower of Terror, take a chaotic train ride on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, not really a thrill ride, but okay, and come face to face with the First Order in Rise of the Resistance. As Rich C. puts it, Disney's Hollywood Studios are where all the headliner rides can be found. Well, yeah, I guess sort of right now they can. But Hollywood Studios doesn't just have thrill rides to satisfy those tall enough to ride them. Susan F. pointed out, Hollywood Studios is so fun and colorful. It's got plenty of thrill rides, but also has rides and shows for the smaller kids to enjoy too. We'll talk more about those shows in a second because trust me, a lot of you brought those up, but let's focus on some of the less intense attractions for now. Toy Story Land is a great area for tiny tykes who are warming up to the idea of rides but are maybe still a little shy about those bigger thrills, or they're just not tall enough for some of them yet. And although Runaway Railway is a brand new headliner for the park, it's a ride all ages and heights can experience, even tiny babies. You can always test the ride waters out by hitting up Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy, which is technically more of a show, but you do get to join Lightning in a virtual race, which can be pretty thrilling for those little ones. So Hollywood Studios has a little bit of everything for every type of rider. Even those of you who told us on Instagram stories that you don't think Hollywood Studios is the best park, still admitted that you made the park a priority every trip because 1 or 2 or 3 of your favorite rides are located there. So if you're at Hollywood Studios, then you definitely want to prioritize the rides. With all those great rides comes the great challenge of trying to ride all of them, and that is why Hollywood Studios is just about the best park to use Genie Plus in. Genie Plus is that controversial and confusing new skip the line system that's going to cost each person in your group $15 per day to use. Plus, there are a couple of rides, like Rise of the Resistance, that aren't on that Genie Plus list and will cost a separate $15 per person to ride, or around there. You can learn all about Genie Plus, which rides offer it, when you can book, and how many rides you can book in some of our other videos on the channel. So why shell out that extra cash when you can wait in line for free? Well, because time is money in Disney World, and while $15 might seem like a lot, you'll want to gauge how much those hours spent in line are worth to you and your travel group. Hollywood Studios has more rides that generate longer wait times than Disney World's other parks, making it one of the best places to use Genie Plus. And while you're not spending your time in the standby line, you can check out some of those incredible shows this park is known for. Okay, now it's time to move on to those epic shows. Now, the main downside of having a park filled with some of the best rides on property is long lines. So good thing Hollywood Studios has other entertainment options available when those ride times are looking a little too long for comfort. Julie W. told us that they love the stage shows, especially Beauty and the Beast and Indiana Jones. Now, Beauty and the Beast live on stage is a condensed 25-minute version of the classic animated film, featuring singing, dancing, colorful set designs, and stellar costuming. And Indiana Jones' epic stunt spectacular not only makes audiences gasp at Indy's death-defying feats on stage, but also gives them the chance to learn how he's able to pull the whole thing off with behind-the-scenes magic. It's actually super cool. Hollywood Studios is chock full of shows, so if Broadway light-style entertainment and stunt shows aren't for you, you got plenty of options that will get you off your feet and into some sweet, sweet air conditioning. Muppet Vision 3D is a 17-minute long 3D movie featuring the Muppets, obviously, with some fun effects that have stood the test of time. Well, for the most part. Get ready to see some vintage Mickey ears at the end. Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy is another screen-based show with wraparound screens this time, and an impressive Lightning McQueen animatronic. For the first time in forever, a Frozen sing-along celebration is your choice if you want more real actors. Yes, the audience will be belting out Let It Go, but these actors are funny, and I promise parents you'll be laughing at some jokes here. Mickey Shorts Theater is just that, a theater showing the new Mickey Mouse shorts. Those are short films. Specifically one exclusive to this theater, Vacation Fun. And One Man's Dream is a walk-through gallery that showcases the start of the Walt Disney Company. You'll also find a theater that often shows sneak previews of upcoming Disney theatrical releases. And if you've got kids that need to get some energy out, head to Disney Junior Live on Stage, a dance party featuring some Disney Junior characters and chairs for parents to sit. Not a lot of chairs, but some chairs. At night, you can catch 2 shows at the Chinese Theater, Disney Movie Magic and Wonderful World of Animation. Neither is as large or impressive as the fireworks shows in Magic Kingdom or Epcot, but they're a nice way to end the evening if you've got time to catch them and don't want to hit a few last-minute rides instead. Both are projection-based shows, about 10 to 12 minutes each, though Wonderful World of Animation also incorporates some pyrotechnics and fireworks. But as Kim W. pointed out, Fantasmic is the best. I can't wait for it to come back. Same, Kim, same. In this evening outdoor musical production, Mickey has to duke it out with some pretty dastardly villains to keep the power of his dreams alive and well. The show features water techniques, larger-than-life animatronics, and live performances from your favorite characters. Fantasmic hasn't been around since the park closures in 2020, but they've done a lot of construction back there, and Disney announced it'll be returning soon in 2022, so keep checking back here with us or check out our website for the latest updates. Even better, sign up for our newsletter. We'll send the news right to you. The link to sign up is just below this video in the description box, and it's totally free. That way, you can be one of the first to know about Fantasmic's official opening date whenever it finally drops. Next on our list is, of course, the Hollywood Tower Hotel. Magic Kingdom has Cinderella Castle, Epcot's got Spaceship Earth, Animal Kingdom has the Tree of Life, and Hollywood Studios? Well, Hollywood Studios has a murderous hotel elevator, and some of you are living for that spooky contrast. Paul Kaye said, "Not only does Hollywood Studios hit right in my nerdy sweet spot, but it has the best Disney World attraction and park icon, Tower of Terror." But the Hollywood Tower Hotel wasn't always the star beacon of the park. Originally, you had the Eiffel Tower. Do you remember that? And then the Sorcerer's Hat was built, and in 2015, the Sorcerer's Hat was removed, and now Disney's trying to make Grauman's Chinese Theater the kind of emblem of Hollywood Studios. But of course, we all know it is Hollywood Tower Hotel. What else could it be? Now, as many of you pointed out, Hollywood Studios still holds on to the OG Tower of Terror ride, while Disney California Adventure over in Anaheim transformed their version into Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. Chloe M noted, "Don't get me wrong, the Guardians are great and all, but Tower of Terror hits different. Instead of just saving the day, I'm thrust into the middle of a mystery that's trippy and terrifying and makes me think about it long after the ride has ended." Every evening, the tower becomes a little less spooktacular and transforms into Hollywood Studios' version of a beacon of magic, which uses projection mapping to bring a lot of color and life to this otherwise haunted hotel. The golden age of Hollywood is revived for the evening as shadows of hotel guests linger around the top story windows, looking out at the shimmery iridescence taking over the hotel. But don't worry, if you go on the ride while the beacon of magic is going on, you're still going to experience all the spooks. Next on our list, of course, is the quirky restaurants. I honestly believe that Hollywood Studios is where all the best themed and immersive restaurants are in Disney World. And a lot of you mentioned in our previous Best Park Series video that Epcot is the supreme spot for unique eats, and a lot of them. But many of you also came to Facebook to tell us about the brilliantly themed restaurants of Hollywood Studios. Cheryl G said, "Hollywood Studios has great places to eat that are also a ton of fun to step into. Woody's Lunchbox, Sci-Fi Dine-In, 50s Primetime Cafe, Hollywood and Vine makes it hard to choose." Dining in Hollywood Studios is a trip. For lunch, you could be eating in a pizza place run by a rat over at Pizza Rizzo, or munching on Cuban sandwiches in a production warehouse at Backlot Express. And for dinner, you could be eating at a drive-in theater while watching snippets of sci-fi films over at Sci-Fi Dine-In, or chowing down on some of the best Cobb salad of all time at Hollywood Brown Derby. There are about 26 different restaurants, ranging from quick service or fast food to table service to signature restaurants, those fancy ones, that you can choose from in Hollywood Studios. And if you want to learn more about each and where we rank them on a scale of 1 to 10, check out our Ranking Every Disney's Hollywood Studios restaurant video to see where you could dine on your upcoming visit. If you're in more of a snack around Hollywood mood, you can also check out some of those exclusive Hollywood Studios snacks on our YouTube page as well. But I'll let you guys talk about some of your favorite snacks for a bit here. Tyler H said, "The Wookiee Cookie from Backlot Express is the best oatmeal cream pie sandwich ever. Everything tastes better with a Wookiee sash." And Brett S added, "Ronto wraps are lit," which I guess is a good thing. He did add that smiley face emoji. So Zoe M mentioned that they love all the glimmer and shimmer treats that have popped up around the park for Disney World's 50th anniversary celebration. Hopefully some of them will stick around for good. We've got a full guide on all the Disney's Hollywood Studios plus the Disney's Animal Kingdom snacks on dfbstore.com. That guide features over 200 different snacks while also providing you with lots of color pictures, price ranges, and reviews so you can determine if the snacks you're eyeballing will be the best bang for your buck. If you're interested in ordering a copy today, type in the code YouTube before making that purchase for a discount on your digital guide. All right, another reason you love Hollywood Studios, it is easy to navigate. Now, Disney's Hollywood Studios does not compare in size to Disney's Animal Kingdom and Epcot, but for some of you, that's a-okay. Actually, that's why some of you claim this park as one of your all-time favorites. Lex B said, "Hollywood Studios is doable. I can walk that entire park and not pass out." Hollywood Studios is 135 acres as compared to Epcot's 300 acres. In the last video, many of you mentioned that you love how spread out Epcot feels, but a lot of you came back with a rebuttal when it came to Hollywood Studios. Lydia D said, "Epcot is too spread out. By the end of the day, I really do feel like I've walked all the way around the world. My feet ache, my back aches, my everything aches. But with Hollywood Studios, I don't have to walk too far to get to the next land over." Abby B agreed. Let's be real here. Where else can you be the size of a toy one minute and the very next minute be in a galaxy far, far away? For those who want to enjoy a lot of rides, lands, shows, and food without having to walk too terribly far from one stop to the next, then Disney's Hollywood Studios feels like the last bed Goldilocks decided to take a power nap on in her story. It is just right for a lot of you. The next reason you decided Hollywood Studios is your favorite park is for the holiday celebrations. Hollywood Studios might not have an after-hours Christmas event like Magic Kingdom, and it doesn't have a whole holiday festival like Epcot, but some of you prefer the way Hollywood Studios celebrates the most wonderful time of the year above all the other parks. Josie S. loves exploring the Christmas offerings during the day, saying that Minnie's Holiday Dine at Hollywood and Vine is one of my favorite seasonal character restaurant experiences of all time. Pamela S. added that the vintage decorations all throughout the park are awesome. It takes me back to my Christmases growing up. And Stephanie M. had to point out that Santa has never looked cooler than he does riding in that bright red convertible in the motorcade through the streets of Hollywood Studios. I mean, hey, a convertible does feel like an upgrade from a classic red sled, you know? And when nighttime rolls around, that's when the real excitement starts happening, because the Hollywood Tower Hotel morphs into the Hollywood Toy Hotel during sunset season's greetings and projects festive scenes all night long. One moment, the hotel might transform into the biggest gingerbread house you've ever seen, and the next moment, flurries from Arendelle whoosh across the scene, bringing with it some of your favorite Frozen characters. And that's only a couple of the characters you'll see during this continuous display. Another reason you love Hollywood Studios is because it's a walk down memory lane. Though Disney's Hollywood Studios has undergone quite a few changes over the past few years, it's still managed to keep hold of that original red carpet charm, especially in certain areas of the park. Chloe L. says, "When I walk into Hollywood Studios, I feel like I'm part of the atmosphere, like I found a time capsule into my favorite golden era." And a time capsule it is. All of Hollywood Studios' newer lands are located toward the back of the park, but the entrance still leads you right on down the Hollywood Boulevard shopping strip, giving you a glamorous view of the Grauman's Chinese Theater replica, which now houses Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, that's been around since day one. And then there's good old Sunset Boulevard, which takes you down another path lined with quick service restaurant locations and ends with another sight to behold at the Hollywood Tower Hotel. Corey S. says, "The vibes on Sunset Boulevard, along with the jazzy music, are unreal. I love it." There are also those of you who feel a different type of nostalgia when you enter Hollywood Studios, and it has nothing to do with the park itself. JCS explains the feeling well. They say, "For me, Hollywood Studios is the park that most makes me feel like a kid again. Muppets and Star Wars were my childhood, and how could you walk into Toy Story Land and not feel like a kid? Then there's Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway that doesn't just make you feel young, but makes you feel like you're part of every scene." Hollywood Studios finds a way to get us to embrace the past and fall in love with the present through another sense of nostalgia, which hits every guest a little differently. So let's wrap all this up with a solid quote received from Robert F. "Hollywood Studios is an all-day park for me. You get 3 great Star Wars rides, booze is sold here, Toy Story Land exists, and there are 3 great shows to keep cool and give the kids a break." The changes that Disney's Hollywood Studios has experienced might not be everyone's cup of tea, but many of you also agree that the changes were necessary in order to keep this park relevant and thriving. The mix of nostalgia alongside the shiny new areas make this Hollywood-centric park a lasting favorite for both cinema and movie fans and storytellers alike. Keep an eye on our social for more park-centered questions so you can help us build our next video, because we do really appreciate your help. And if you're sitting here going, excuse me, what about insert park here? Isn't insert park here the best? Then you'll be happy to know we're doing a whole series on this topic. We've already released our Epcot video, and of course we're dedicated to finding out which park you really think is the best that Disney World property has to offer. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. Please let us know in the comments why you love Hollywood Studios or why you don't think it's the best park, because you know all of your comments are what helps the rest of our viewers make choices about their Disney World trips. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.